The ships of the future, folks. Space nerds, we're going to talk about upcoming ships in Star Citizen, including the Galaxy, the Liberator, the Kraken, and a couple surprises, a couple mysteries. We've got the ship tracking ship sheet, and, well, we should probably do our updates first from the previous month. Duncan, say hello. Hey, everybody, thanks for coming to this video. If you want to see more, we do this every month. Like and subscribe. Okay. Let's talk about ships that have released. Now we've got the Raylan and the Tylenol. We've already got those released here. Are there any others that we've seen pop up? Starlight, yada yada yada. Like almost everything that we had was released. We're now starting to repopulate the list. So first we can look up the Basher and see where that shows up here. Now this is probably this Gray's unannounced ship. It was unannounced. We didn't know if it was for sure the Gray ship. What did it say on its details? June. Was parked last year due to other priorities. Begin by ensuring nothing has degraded since it was last worked on. I literally have no notes on here. So we're just going to go ahead and say yes. This was indeed the Gray's Basher. We'll mark it as released and put that one behind us because I hate unannounced ships. Did we get any more ship releases last month? I don't think we did. So, let's start off with what is new. First, in the UK, the ships finalized Gray's Basher and released it into the verse. Okay, we already did that. While they moved on to other vehicles, the team are looking forward to implementing a range of cosmetic items to the Basher later this year. So they're going to do they're going to kit bash the Basher. Work progressed on the Anvil Liberator, with the devs wrapping up the white box ahead of its review at the end of the month. This specific white box phase took longer than planned as the team wanted to ensure the ship utilized as much as possible from existing ships to set a strong foundation for future stages. The time invested in July should be returned in later stages. Getting ahead a little bit. Interesting. This is a ship that was designed before they really got good at concepting in a better place, and I think this is making up for some of that. We will find this on the list, and then I'm going to show you guys what they said about the Anvil Liberator when they first announced it. Last update we had on it was in June. In October, it began pre-production. Then in May of this month, they started white box. Well, they scheduled the white box to start. And then in June, they did further work, including integrating and repurposing numerous Anvil kit pieces from recent ships. And then in August, or in July, I guess, they followed up on that work by ensuring that the ship utilized as much as possible from those same kits that they looked at in, I guess that would have been May. Damn it, I really need to figure out if I'm posting the month of the update or the month that the work took place. I think this is the month of the update. It is currently in white box, work progressed, with the devs wrapping up the white box ahead of its review. So it hasn't necessarily passed in the gray box from what we know, so we'll leave it there. I could see this coming out by end of year, but it would make more sense to come out for Invictus Week. I call it a pocket carrier. It is definitely heavily focused on carrying ships.
Anvil's latest design, a spaceship, which is purely for transporting ships. So we wanted to do something properly and sort of provide that entry-level spaceship for that career. If you want to be
as a career, there's got to be something, right? Some reason that you're flying ships around. Now we know that you can transport ships. If you go to their 1.0 video, you will see one of the possible missions that is listed officially for 1.0 in the Transportation Guild is vehicle delivery. So there's definitely a precedent for transporting ships around the game, but from a gameplay perspective, they haven't really built it. This is why fuel is getting rebalanced, and I think it's prudent for everyone to at least imagine that they're going to keep rebalancing fuel until it is something that allows for people to offer a service to help with it, whether that's refueling or transporting smaller ships.
a ship hauler, then this is the ship for you. It provides that good foundational base for it.
It's a fairly regular sort of process on this one. As Jared and I have chatted before, you know, these ships are often described as berths, you know, easy berths, hard berths, difficult berths. I think this one was a fast berth. It's been a while since we worked on some Anvil stuff, so in terms of the lineup, we have the Ballista, the Terrapin, the Hurricane. The Valkyrie, is probably more sort of, it's one of those larger ships. Then we've got the Carrack.
Yeah.
So a lot of work has already been done for those ships, and we've got, we've got the modular kits. So in terms of the concept process, theoretically, it's smoother sailing. And in terms
So they were already planning on this being a kind of kit-bashed Anvil ship. And they talk about a little bit about how it loads ships up.
designer art,
Top quality design block.
yeah, I'm liking it. I'm not sure about that shade of green, but not quite Anvil. But basically, this is super easy for us, and also, because we're working with a contractor, about sort of laying out the limits of, because we always, we like to make ships big, so it's always, okay, we've got our metrics, it has to fit within this. Like, whatever you do, make it cool, but it has to fit within these bounds.
Yeah,
And
it was quite strict on the landing pad size, but you need to fit a number of ships in it, but also make sure that it really kind of stayed within its, otherwise John will give us big slap wrists.
I'll come after you.
Yeah.
Because on that image there, you can see there's the red box, which is the maximum bounds that the ship can be. If you go outside that.
All right, let's skip this and look at some of the possible designs they did. Because when you get to the design portion, you start to realize that, they kind of just added stuff to this ship just to make it look cool, and I think that disappoints a lot of people.
we've got our function and what it needs to achieve, but in the last 2-4 years, definitely the last 2 years, our process has just been a lot stronger in terms of player flow. So there's no more of the Starfarer higgledy-piggledy
Mystery tour.
I mean, that was our first. So now it's like, okay, if I'm a player, what experience do I want?
It actually is pretty big. It doesn't look that big, and then you see the interior, and it's like, oh, okay, there's a lot of space to move around in here, and then more space besides the interior.
So as we look at these interiors, we just sort of looked at sort of different flow, basically, different ideas. So it feels quite good, and we sort of worked on, again, just flow. So if you're in the garage, you can easily, ship it is quite big. So then we get to the fun producer.
So yeah, these little barrel things on the side don't do anything.
It is quite big. So then we get to the fun part, which is when we get onto promo. I think it's everyone's favourite part involved with this sort of stuff, and that is really sort of, I call it selling the dream. So it's, you're really sort of honing in into what a player's experience might be. And I love doing this sort of stuff as well. So here we've got a fully loaded carrier. And
the core of what that ship is for. You have these smaller carrier-borne ships, is what Chris likes to call them. They're not deep space fighters. They can't go long distances by themselves. They need to be from a parent ship.
So that right there is, how are people going to feel if your Anvil Arrow can't go long distances on its own? And you have to get on one of these ships to go way out into the distance. Well, then you start to ask the question, are you just going to limit the people from getting that good content because it's too far away? That's where things like Starkitect come in. And they have to bring up the amount of content density there is in the game so that people don't feel like they have to have access to that, because there's already plenty of content that already exists nearby that's made for their ship specifically. And I think something the game struggles from a lot right now is people want all the content to be made for them because there's not enough. And hopefully they can get into a place where they're actually adding content that is wide-ranging enough and diverse enough that not everybody is interested in everything. They can start to differentiate things like that a bit more. So that's the Liberator, and it seems to be getting some good work done on it. It is still in the white box phase. I'm going to actually change our expected delivery date. I think this is looking more like a potential Invictus Week release, so I'm going to move that to May of next year. But we'll see. We'll keep a close eye on it. They might do something interesting. Continuing on, we've got further development done on the RSI Galaxy. It's passed its white box gate review earlier in the month. Let's take a look at what that looks like. This is the white box of the Galaxy. Actually looks kind of like the Polaris, which makes sense. But this is definitely yeah, you can tell it's got the utilitarian style. I mean, you can also just look at the file name. Oh, they didn't name it this time. But it's got the kind of utilitarian but nice style of RSI. So it reminds me a bit of this, in that there are 3 seats, and it is RSI in style, very clearly. It's still got the prominent 3 seats. It looks like it does slide up on a rail going up front. It's got the stairs for the 2 seats on the side that are going up to the side. These also have the 2 seats going up the sides here. These seats are stationary. These seats are stationary. The console comes out from the side. The console comes out from the side. You got struts going through the window, struts going through the window. It's very much an RSI ship, and it looks fairly similar to the Polaris. It's not copy and paste. I mean, it's clearly, you know, they use the same chairs. That makes sense. And the same layout. But, like, the top of the Polaris has all this going on up here. The top of the, actually, it's just white box. So this could change quite a bit. They could add a lot of detailing in here that does change it up. We'll see. But yeah, I think the larger ships are definitely going to look a lot similar like that. And I don't have a problem with it. I think that this is what needs to happen for these ships to make sense. They have a problem with needing to update too many ships, and if they can find ways to make ships easier to update across manufacturer lines, not only does it strengthen the manufacturer, but it makes the ships easier to update. It's unfortunate that it's, you know, basically, it's unfortunate that it means that we get a lot less detailed kinds of ships, but I don't have a problem with that. I think the bridge is probably one of the least likely places for it to really differentiate. I would look for more of like the, you know, like the cargo areas and the hangar bays and like the things that the ship's built for. It was giving us, yeah, this was the Perseus bridge. My bad. It was not the Polaris. I'm just stupid. Let's see, they did a 1-to-1 comparison. This is from Scrub Soda. Not something 1-to-1 I can overlay due to FOV and format differences, but tried my best. Pilot seat obviously situated further back by the looks of it. It may also not be the pilot seat, as one can see that looks like the top of another seat directly in front of it. Really? I don't know about that. That would be very interesting, though. That would be also some misdirection. If this is like an operator seat, but it would be in a weird spot to be directly behind the pilot. Large section of the front roof is open glass in this bridge. Yeah. Canopy seems shorter, bridge extends backwards. So there's minor differences. But let's see the Galaxy's original bridge. Man, I'm spending so much time on this ship deep dive. Okay, I see. So they originally had the just had a platform you walk up to instead of sliding forward. And then these 2 others had platforms that they were up on instead of the whole bridge being up on a platform. Yeah, so they're just reusing the old bridge, and instead of having to make a brand new one like this. This actually looks bigger. It looks wider than what we're getting. This is kind of like how the Banu Merchantman's cockpit or bridge is situated. So there is a bit of a change between the way that they did the bridge. Obviously to save some time probably and be able to make the ship faster and keep it updated better. We'll see how the finished product comes out, but this is going to be the most hyped ship release of the year. It's coming at IAE in November, and it's in white box, or rather it's in gray box, so they're making progress, but they got a lot of work to do. It says additional art resources helped various areas of the ship progress significantly, including the lower engineering area, upper corridors, modular, lower section, and rear hangar. We will move this up to the gray box phase. Congratulations, y'all. And we're going to keep that November 2026. The upcoming Kruger Stingray continued to move swiftly through development, and with rapid progress from all teams, it was decided to do a combined Lot 0/final gate review at the end of July, which the Stingray successfully passed. That means it is definitely releasing this month. And we've got that listed here. We originally had it as an unannounced vehicle. We don't know if it is the same, but we're going to keep going with it. I'm going to put it down here as an update, and just like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever. So in the last monthly report, we did see that it was moving towards its Lot 0 gate review. As part of this, the team added details across the hull and ensured the animated parts don't interfere with each other. So, maybe that's it. I do think this is supposed to be July. maybe this is the Stingray we've been following since February. Maybe we've been right about it. Some of the team began laying the groundwork for the second new vehicle. It's final unannounced. It's a white box. Complex animations and states. That's what we need to look out for. If the Stingray has complex animations and states, then we are on the money. I also have the release I was way off on. I thought it was November. This is definitely coming in August. Potentially next 2 weeks. And we don't really know much about this. We've gotten one picture released for it. So this is all we know about it so far. It's just this picture. It's just something from the ship. We'll find out soon enough. Continuing on, 2 more vehicles continued down the pipeline. One is essentially art and design complete and awaiting the availability of downstream teams, while the other received further art and design work before passing its Lot 0 review on the day this report was published. So 2 vehicles. One is art and design complete and getting stuff like lighting and things done. Freaking hell. We got to just look and see what was going on last month. So we've got ground vehicles somewhere in gray box, somewhere in Lot 0. This might be one. Let's see. So this successfully passed a combined white and gray box review. It showed up out of nowhere in July and did that. Essentially art and design complete. Or before passing its LOD. Like that, I think this is that one. In order to be art and design complete in July, you would have needed to at least be Lot 0 by June. We'll update that update. Expected release. Honestly, I think it's also going to be this patch. The other one is also an unannounced one though, and it is a little bit further behind. But not that far. What could this be? This would have probably been in gray box. Let's see what this is. Move through white box. No way. This has been getting worked on since December. Unannounced ship past its white box. Went to gray box in June. Currently preparing to tackle complicated animations required for this ship. Oh man. That sounds like the other one we were covering. I don't know what this would be. Maybe it's this one? UK unannounced ship. This is a new fighter, passed its gray box white review and will continue to have its geometry refined as part of the gray box phase in preparation for November. Okay. So this is a ship that we specifically know is coming out in November. That it's not going to be that. These are confusing ones. I hate it. I'm going to just... Man, I'm going to really regret this. I'm just going to say this one went through its gray box and Lot 0 review. And, I don't think I'm going to be able to track this unknown. 2 unannounced vehicles progressed well throughout July too. The first is in gray box with art and design continuing to refine the setup on some of the more complicated moving parts. Interesting. It's always, I love that they say vehicles when sometimes they mean ships. It used to be easier to tell what they were talking about. So this would have been an early ship last time. This would be in final art. Is this the one that said it was art complete? Yeah, so this one is also going to be release imminent. Dude, I don't know. This is... I hate the unannounced ships. I really do. I'm just gonna freaking put it here. As you can tell, I'm kind of starting to say screw it to the unannounced ships because they're just very ambiguous about them, and it's just... they don't have any desire for us to be able to track them through these. The second one is in the white box phase after various teams sanity checked the ship's complex landing state to rule out future problems before the art team moved further into production. Luckily, a few issues that were expected were proven to not be as severe as thought and were efficiently resolved. Dude, what? So this has to be in white box. It might be a new ship. Then again, it could also be this ship that said that it had complex animations, which I thought was the Stingray. I almost want to switch the Stingray and change this to be the... This seems like this is the ship they're talking about, dude. This matches up with the complex animations and states from the white box. Then again, this is in white box, though. Then this is a white box update from March. There's no way this same thing is still in white box, right? All right. Cheers. For the North American team, further progress was made on the Drake Kraken, which passed its gray box gate review after major push from the team and remains on track for its planned release next year. That would be May. The main call out from the review was to resolve how some of the capital-sized components are integrated into their rooms. Okay. So the Kraken continues its work, its progress. It is really the only named ship besides the Stingray that we got an update on. Look at how many updates we have on this thing, dude. And I realize now I'm just gonna have to make it so that these updates are only about the month they're in, because the Drake Kraken has so many updates here, and I'm not trying to rename all of them. We really only got updates on the Kraken, the Galaxy, the Liberator, and the Stingray, which is up here. Technically, I guess we can kind of list this down here. And that's that, folks. That's all the ships that we have being worked on right now. So 10 ships in total, getting us updates this year, this month. And that's that. Hope you guys got to learn some more about some of the ships that are going on and see what is going up, what's coming down, what's happening. We still got the Forge listed here, but I don't know if these updates we're getting are for the Forge or not, so I'm going to leave them as unannounced. As of right now, I hope you got your information about shippy ships. I'll see you in the next one next month.